going on, y'all? Mark C.
And I'm Mark K.
And this is the Mark Suck Show. Today we're going to do something a little different.
It ain't really that different.
It is different to me because...
It's not.
Anyway, today we're going to be ranking our top 3 video games that we want to see remade. Now, some of these on the
Not
list...
really ranking anything. We just listing it. Carry on.
I ranked mine. So we're just going to say, I don't know his, and he doesn't know mine.
I guarantee you his is trash, though.
Mine are going to be much better than his because I got better taste in everything than him.
No, man. I seen some of your girlfriends before your wife.
What's that mean?
Means what I said.
Like all your girlfriends were cute?
Yeah, they were. Check my resume.
You ain't got to lie.
Anyway.
We're not going there. Anyway. So. You feel me up.
You bastard!
Listen. This is how this is going to work, y'all. He's going to give you one of his, and then I'm going to give you one of mine. He's going to explain why he thinks one of his should be on the list, and I'm going to explain why mine should be on the list. We're going to go ping pong back and forth. Y'all be the judge of whose list is better. All right?
Would you like me to go first? I don't think that's fair. So,
Why not?
I'll let Sucker's choice. You go first.
Sucker's choice doesn't mean that you go first if I'm the sucker.
I don't know. Anyway.
Here we go.
So, coming in at number 3 for me as the top 3 game that I would like to see remade. Going to start with Legends of Dragoon. Now, see, Legends of Dragoon was a RPG game that came out for the original PlayStation. And it came out shortly, not too long after Final Fantasy VII. And seeing how we're getting a remake of Final Fantasy VII, and it's right on time for yet another RPG that was a classic to come out with a remake. Now, what bodes well for this possible remake is the fact that it was indeed made by Sony. And Sony is still thriving. And they completely own that IP, so they can make this remake at any time, which would be dope. What made Legend of Dragoon different than any other turn-based game was the interactive element on your turn, where you had the timing button press, like, to deal extra damage whenever your character went, and each character had a different timing to their button press, or a different way of doing their button press. So you really couldn't just sit back, press a button, and move on. You actually had to pay attention to what you were doing. And, for the time, the graphics were great. So it would be awesome to see an updated version of that. And to see that with better graphics. Like, to watch that transformation from where you're just your normal character to the Dragoon armor in today's 4K graphics would be absolutely amazing. And to see what Sony could do with the changes in combat, because I'm sure they wouldn't keep it in the turn-based style, but also still giving homage to the original way of the combo system. I would love to see them try to tackle that. So that's why Legend of Dragoon comes in at number 3 for me. And I'm going to move on and let this guy talk about his lame number 3 choice.
Anyway, so my choice is a little bit into the future. It's not that old. We're going to go with something that is near and dear to my heart, that is a PlayStation exclusive that just didn't make it to this PlayStation 4 generation. And I don't understand that, because this game was very fun. It had its fans that sunk thousands upon thousands of hours into it, and they didn't see fit to make another one.
Probably because it was trash.
What? My pick is PlayStation AllStars Battle Royale. Now, if you like Super Smash Brothers, like I know a lot of you are, pretty much big fans of Super Smash Bros., and you don't have a Nintendo, but you got a PlayStation, this was your go-to. You could play as Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series. You could play as Big Daddy from, what's that game called? Bioshock. Yes. And you could play as Parappa the Rapper and other PlayStation characters. Fat Princess.
But Bioshock isn't a PlayStation exclusive.
It's not, but
so why would he be on PlayStation AllStars?
They made a licensing deal. I don't know. But
because they ain't got enough characters to support that shit.
Yes, they do.
This joint is trash already. Get out of here.
PlayStation got plenty of characters.
Get out of here. That joint trash.
No.
Okay, continue.
Anybody who played it knows that game was fun.
Name some more third-party characters. Why don't you?
Anyway, they had Sly Fox.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I mean, Sly Cooper, actually. He wasn't a fox. He was actually a raccoon. But it was a good game. I sunk hours into playing it with my children. I had lots of fun doing it. And then when PlayStation 4 came out, it just disappeared. They didn't make another one. I don't understand why. They were making money with the game. You can't tell me they weren't, because every time I logged on, it was people on there playing and you could jump right into a match. You know? So it doesn't make sense that they wasted this IP. Maybe the licensing deals with all the third-party people, like he said, had something to do with it. But PlayStation has their own characters as well. They got Ratchet and Clank and
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, of course. And like, all of them were incorporated in the game. So, you know, they could have just kept the people that they couldn't pay for out. But for some reason, they just chose not to make another one. And if you like Smash Brothers, like I said, this game was Smash Brothers. They ripped off the whole IP of Smash Brothers and just put different faces on, you know, on the characters. But it was a great game. I had a lot of fun, and that's my number 3.
All right. So
next up
is the number 2 pick, which for me, yet again, is going to be another killer in Def Jam Fight for New York, fam.
Damn it.
See, here we go. This is an EA game, so this is what's going to happen. EA, they need this. They need a remake of Def Jam because, yo.
Oh, you talking about Icon?
Yo, no. I'm talking about Fight for New York. Shut your mouth. Stop it. Don't ever mention Icon again. Relax. Okay.
Icon was trash.
So, look, I mean, they had the whole DJ thing, and no, that joint was trash.
What are we doing?
No. Fight for New York, fam. We talking about the best fighting game ever to exist. We talking about every element that you could possibly think of, man, in it. We talking about wrestling. We talking about boxing. We talking about kicking. We talking about throwing people in the trains. You guys are playing Mortal Kombat today. Dog, Def Jam Fight for New York was doing this in 2004. So what's up?
I think Mortal Kombat came out first.
No. But Mortal Kombat wasn't throwing people in the stuff until later. They stole that shit from Def Jam. The interactive environment stuff, that was Def Jam. That was all Def Jam. You throw your man into the crowd and the crowd beat him over the head with a pull stick. Like, yo, that was like that was everything. You take the pull stick from the crowd and now you got a weapon. Like, we talking about you could do all types of nut stuff, man. And not only that, the icing on the cake was the fact that you had rappers, real life rappers in the game. Like, you talking about Snoop Dogg with his kung fu and shit. You talking about
Snoop Dogg was dope. Super dope.
You talking about Sean Paul doing some bum capoeira. You talking about Busta Rhymes. Talking about all them. And let's not forget the hardest character in the game to beat, Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
Like, yo, Fat Joe played no games, dog. Like, you be breezing through everybody at Fat Joe Cup and whoop that ass for like 6 straight rounds. Like, that was like, yo, Fat Joe.
I quit because of Fat Joe.
Fat Joe was a problem.
Yeah.
So you gotta love Fight for New York, man. And if you never played Fight for New York, I guarantee you is worth going back to play it, because I'm still selling this short because I haven't yet mentioned that the customizability of your own character.
Come on.
Like your own character was customizable to the point where I literally can make my face. I made my dude look like me, and he was out there beating down Busta Rhymes with an Escalade. Like, so like it is what it is. Like, this game was everything. Like, yo, there hasn't been a fighting game yet that has lived up to Fight for New York, man. That's just period. And like, it would be great to see a remake of Fight for New York with the classic characters, and then maybe have a continuation so we see the classic characters with some updated fighters. Like, it would be dope to see Shauna fight Cardi B, or it'd be dope to see Nicki Minaj fight Lil' Kim. Like,
I don't think nobody would know who Shauna is nowadays.
Yo, nah, stop it. Don't be that guy.
What guy?
That guy, Shauna was dope. Anyway, moving on, because this guy's ignorant. So, like, yo.
Who listen to Shauna now?
Okay.
Crickets.
Who listen to Lil' Kim now? Crickets. Like, but you still
Well,
know who
people
she is. So that's my point. Regardless, like I was saying, DTP, I ain't gonna let them do that to y'all like that.
Do they even exist anymore?
No.
Oh, all right.
Does Luda even make music anymore? No.
Yeah, he do.
Yo, stop distracting me, fam.
He do though.
Like, all right. He don't. I would never call what he does now music. Stop it.
It's the same as it was before.
Okay. Regardless, moving on. Like I was saying, this game was absolutely everything, man. Like, so seeing an update of this would be great. I would love to be a new character and beat the crap out of Blueface. I don't like that guy. So like, yo,
that's actually a great idea.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't stand that.
I don't like that guy. So like, it would be dope to have Fight for New York back, man, and like keep it in that realm. Don't, like, they tried to do something pretty and cool with icons, tried to switch up the gameplay, and it just wasn't the same game.
Terrible.
Like, it didn't do the same things. I'm talking about even in Fight for New York, you could have the 4-on-4 action. I mean, the 2-on-2, not the 4-on-4, but the 2-on-2 action. Like, you could have that. Like, yeah, I was about to say something real plausible, but all right. But yeah, you can have your 2 fighters versus 2 fighter tag team style. Like that game gave you every possible thing that you would want in a fighting game in one game. That's why it's on my list as the greatest fighting game of all time. And that's why I feel as though that thing needs a remake, because it was absolutely amazing, and no fighting game since that has lived up to that game. So that's my pick for number 2. Go ahead, fella, give your trash pick.
Why you gotta keep dissing me? Anyway, his pick was great, but I think that my pick will actually hold up in this round. Shout out to Crystal Dynamics, because in 1999, they made a game that stuck with me for the rest of my life. And for some reason, they only made 2 of them. It had great story. It had the rise and fall of a man. His descension into hell. And his rise again. I'm talking about Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Cut! Stop this nonsense right now.
Cut that bitch off!
Listen, this dude's gonna disrespect Legacy of Kain by having it at number 2. Legacy of Kain is my number 1. And secondly, that I'm talking about the whole series.
Yeah.
Now here's my problem with this fool right here. Here's my problem with this fool right here. Because he said they only made 2 of them. He's a goddamn lie. He don't know what he's talking about.
First of all, they did only make 2 Legacy of Kain Soul Reavers. Legacy of Kain itself had other games, yes, but Soul Reaver only had 2.
No, Legacy of Kain is an entire series, and Soul Reaver is just the secondary title. So anyway,
no, Soul Reaver had a different antagonist. What are you saying?
Like I said, no, no, time out. Look, fam. Look, hey, how you doing?
Was Kain the star of Legacy of Kain?
Yes, he was. This is what I'm telling you.
No, he was not.
Listen, because you didn't finish it, you don't know.
Soul Reaver.
No, you do not.
He was not the star of Soul Reaver.
You do not know because this is what I am telling you.
What are you telling me?
I'm telling you, it all goes back to Kain. It all goes back to Kain because there's a game after Soul Reaver 2. There is called Legacy of Kain Defiance, which has Raziel and Kain. And it shows that Kain is always destined to be, Raziel is always destined to be Kain's sword. And so, and by the end of Defiance, Raziel joins back with Kain as the Soul Reaver to defeat the boss at the end. So the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is only the middle of the story, telling you how Raziel's rise and fall. But it's always it's just that in the Soul Reaver story, they switched it to have Kain a little bit in the background, but he is still the main guy. That's why it's called the Legacy of Kain.
Here's my thing.
This dude don't know what he's talking about, fam.
I'm not going to say anything against what you're saying because I understand it to be a series. But the games that I particularly want to see remade are the Soul Reaver series games. I know they're a part of a greater story.
Well, then now you're really doing a disservice because now you only want to see 2 games. That's like, I only ever want to see Star Wars New Hope be remade or I only want to see Empire Strikes Back be remade. Listen.
This is my list.
It's a whole genre, man.
I'm going off of how those games made me feel. Now I played previous Legacy of Kain games. I did not play Defiance. However, I played the other Legacy of Kain games.
Did you play Blood Omen 2?
Yes.
Okay.
They were all good games. Don't get me wrong. But Soul Reaver has that feel for me. It's like Tomb Raider had a baby with like a hack and slash game, and it's just like traveling to different worlds.
Now I will give them this: what was introduced in the Soul Reaver series, actually it was in all the series, but it just had a different feel to it in the Soul Reaver series, was the puzzle aspect, and that's not something that's done very often today. Even with EA in the Tomb Raider series, the current Tomb Raider series still feels like it went away from that puzzle aspect, and it doesn't feel, and it's not the same. Whereas I would like to see them get back to the puzzle thing, because like a lot of that was to the point where you almost couldn't do it without going on the internet looking at game facts. So,
or buying the strategy guide.
Yeah, once the introduction of the internet and they made game facts, I ain't never buy a strategy guide again.
Pretty much. Game facts got it all. Here's my thing. They make Soul Reaver again, I promise you, they will have my $60. That's it. I will spend my money. That game was amazing. And the thing is, I could play it right now and still feel the same way about it, even with the crappy graphics. I love that game. That's why that's my number 2.
All right. So here's the thing. There was a game that was actually supposed to continue on from the Legacy of Kain series, which was Legacy of Kain Dead Son. That was canceled. But listen, they did that dirty. They calculated wrong. That game would definitely meet sales expectations. Everything about the Legacy of Kain series is amazing. Particularly what the one that they really need to remake is in the original Legacy of Kain Blood Omen. Because Legacy of Kain Blood Omen is a top-down player, and like with very 16-bit-ish graphics. So
didn't seem that way back then.
But yeah, but the Soul Reaver series and all that, they did those graphics were considerably better than the original Legacy of Kain. So the original Legacy of Kain, that's the one that really needs to be remade because it just doesn't live up in any shape or form. At least the cinematics from the Soul Reaver series still lives up to today. But nothing about the original Legacy of Kain lives up to current times. But I will admit that I was originally introduced to the Legacy of Kain series with Soul Reaver, and then I went backwards to continue on and understand what I was playing. And so from Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver to then I played the original, then I played Soul Reaver 2, then I played Blood Omen 2, which was kind of like a prequel to Soul Reaver, which sets up more understanding for the things that are going on in Defiance. So you have everything, and just to let you know, Defiance is a true continuation of the Soul Reaver story.
I never said it wasn't.
I'm just letting you know, because from where Soul Reaver 2 ends, where Raziel is back into the underworld, that's exactly where Defiance picks up with Raziel in the underworld and Kain in the above world, which is it's a game you should play, because this game you play as both Kain and Raziel separately, doing two storylines that kind of run into each other and crash to the climax. So, but with that said, that's my number one pick, which is I have that as the entire series, not just two games, because two games would be doing the entire series a disservice. The whole thing needs to be remade. And partly why I want to see Soul Reaver remade is because I would like to have some add-on to where we get flashbacks of Raziel as a vampire and not as just the Soul Reaver, where I can play as Raziel the vampire. So I could see, because I think it would just add context to see the life of when Raziel was the loyal number 2 to Kain.
Hey, Crystal Dynamics, you see what he said? If it pops up as a game, we want our check.
Yeah. So, because I think that would be amazing, and I think that would also add some weight to the betrayal. Spoiler if you haven't played it, but the betrayal.
I haven't at the beginning.
Yeah, the betrayal of Kain to Raziel, and so I think that in total would be awesome if you did it that way. So that way we can just get to play as Raziel as the lieutenant and doing his thing, and see him with his brothers, just so we can get that feel for when he does have to fight his brothers and kill them all. We have an understanding of their relationships, without just the narrative.
And I think with better graphics comes better quality of powers and different things that you can do with puzzles. There be no limitations. Now we got ray tracing, we got 4K. There's no reason why you can't do exactly what you want as a developer now. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it if they make this remake.
Yeah. But right now it's a pipe dream, but the fact that it is Crystal Dynamics is now currently owned by, hold on, let me get that correct. Yes, now that Crystal Dynamics is currently owned by Square Enix, that is
Yeah. That's who's on the Tomb Raider games now.
That actually bodes well for them. And the fact that Crystal Dynamics is actually also the people that are making the Avengers game that we have been seeing in E3, and everybody's very excited for that. So Crystal Dynamics is very much still an active developer. So it'd be nice to see them go back to one of their one of their legacy projects and remake that.
So, we agreed on one of our picks, which knocked him out of contention for number one. So now we're going to go to my number one. Something I'm very proud of. Something I spend a lot of hours playing. Something even he spent a lot of hours playing. This isn't necessarily a remake, maybe a sequel because it wasn't that old. You be the judge. But I'm going to go with an EA Vancouver and HB Studios game called Fight Night Champion.
Yo, shout out to all the subscribers that know me in real life and know how much of a beast I am at Fight Night. Dog, all of you. Like, look, you see this guy's face, but he a clown shoes motherfucker. Excuse me.
You gonna have to see me, that's all.
No,
I'm not gonna rap about it.
I don't got a problem seeing you because
you gonna have to see me because I'm pretty nice.
Yo, he don't got a problem because all of the 40th Street movie theater know what it be. All of them, they know what it is. I ran them all off the sticks without a problem. But regardless, yo, Fight Night is an amazing game.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why that's not on my list is probably because it's still an active game today.
Is it?
Yes. I could go on my Xbox One and play it right now.
First of all, it's active, but it's not active. And what I mean by that is, like, if you go to the online part where you could download the characters, that server is completely down. You can't even do that anymore. So part of the allure and part of the fun of the game is not even there anymore. And I would like to see new boxers.
Make it.
Triple J.
All you gotta do is make them.
Make them, that's whack.
Let's brag about it.
I like to see what the professionals say, and then what I mean by professionals, what the game maker's opinion of the characters are. But I think the biggest problem with Fight Night is licensing. Everybody thinks they're worth $1 million. Everybody. And that's the same problem with my Pacers on any game. I can't never go back and play with Reggie Miller because they can't pay him enough to put his face on the game. So I gotta create a little ugly fake Reggie Miller that's not the same.
Man, you know how many times Floyd Mayweather has been made on that particular game? Like, there's like 80 Floyd Mayweathers and they all look exactly like Floyd Mayweather because that game gave you the ability to upload your own image. So all of them look like Floyd Mayweather, and it's not hard to actually make the stats correct so that that's
opinion though.
So the person actually boxes like Floyd Mayweather. Duh. Listen, some people made Floyd Mayweather with knockout power. You think I downloaded the Floyd Mayweather with knockout power? No, that's not real.
No. I got speed and defense.
No, I mean, I downloaded the Floyd Mayweather with a hell of a jab and with all the speed, all the defense, and he had all the punches, but he wasn't knocking nobody out, man. That's just not something he was doing later in his career. Now, if I was making an early Floyd Mayweather, maybe I would have scaled him some knockout power.
And not only that, what about the ladies?
What about them?
Why can't Clarissa Shields be a part of this fray?
Okay, that's fair.
I would like to see that. You know, like I was surprised when NBA 2K included women.
But here's the thing, though. I'm not even knocking you, and like I know quite a few female boxers, but name 3.
Clarissa Shields, Layla Ali,
exactly.
Christina Hammer.
But this is my point. That was a major struggle for this guy. He forgot the fact that Holly Holmes came from boxing. So here's the point.
She came from kickboxing.
No, she came from boxing.
She was a kickboxer.
Oh my god. I'm about to go to sleep on this, man. Anyway, listen. The fact is that this dude, he's talking about something that is not really going to be a selling point on that end. So
it's not. You right.
So
it's not.
So
I think it would be nice.
like the benefit for the WNBA is that they are including women because that is actually very slowly, but it is on the rise. Like
Do you
this,
think that's a selling point for 2K?
no.
It's
No.
absolutely
No,
not.
but it's on a rise enough that that is bringing awareness to it. Like UFC has to include their women fighters and stuff like that because their women fighters are starting to become a prominent point of the UFC. Now, but when it comes to the Fight Night series, like I don't necessarily think that needs to be remade just yet. But it would be nice to have a new one. But it, like I said, that game is still kind of active, whereas the games that we named are pretty much collecting dust and need to be brought back to the light. So that's my reasoning for why my list is better than his, because I don't have any games on there that you could still play, that you are currently playing right now.
Fight Night needs to be refocused and remade with new mechanics.
No. See, now he really pissing me off. If you make another Fight Night, listen to me. If you make another Fight Night and you change the mechanics, I'm breaking it. I'm smashing it over
why
your
does it have to
head.
be for the worst though?
Because it will be like, yo,
You don't know.
cannot improve perfection.
It's not perfect.
Yo, what's bad? What's wrong with the
Let me
mechanics?
ask you something. Do you play with the analog stick or do you play with the buttons?
I play with both because you have the ability to play with both.
I know you can, but
Like,
I prefer to play with the buttons. And sometimes when you press a button, like you press it once and it'll throw 2 punches for some reason.
that's because you got nutty controllers. Buy a new controller.
No, it's not.
Stop letting your 4-year-old play with your game. Like, what are you talking
I don't
about?
have a 4-year-old.
Like, yo, all you gotta do is have a brand new controller. Like, that's it. Like, you have a good controller. I guarantee you press it once, that's all that's going to happen. Stop eating hot wings while playing the game. That's all you gotta do.
I think that's what happened.
Yes, the problem you just said was a sticky controller.
No.
Yo, if I press the button, it does it 3 times. So it's because it's stuck. Get some alcohol, fix it.
My opinion is still my opinion. I say that they need to rework it a little bit, just a taste.
Okay.
I'll still beat him with the old way, because he's trash.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my list.
Yeah, and that's mine. And lastly, as an honorable mention, there's a game that I would like to mention. Xenogears, man. Xenogears is a Square Enix game that came out for PlayStation. And the reason why it's an honorable mention for me is because the reason why this game needs to be remade is because it was broke. Like, when they put out a broken game, you could never finish the game because it literally stopped working after a certain point. Like, so that's why that game is an honorable mention for me. I feel as though, because it was a great game up until that point, and then it just kind of loses it. And it had some of the same elements that Legend of Dragoon had, whereas you had to do the combo presses with your turn-based moves. So that's my list.
Wait, I got an honorable mention too.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
It's called NFL 2K. Well,
That'll never happen.
I know it'll never happen because, EA has a monopoly on the NFL. But if you look back at the NFL 2K series,
everybody knows NFL 2K was better, is better, will always be better. And particularly NFL 2K2, the one with Terrell Owens on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, like there's
amazing.
one mode in that game that I have yet to see be remade, which was the first person mode. Like, dog, it's nothing like running for a touchdown and you're seeing the end zone and you just get blasted from the side and all you see is your character go boom from the side. Like, yo, you really felt
truly amazing.
You really felt like you was in that joint. You couldn't You couldn't just juke random people in that game because you weren't looking at it from a top-down view. So you couldn't see the person behind you, or you couldn't see the person that was necessarily in your blind spot from your side unless you looked to your right. That's kind of like what was a phenomenal part of the game. And like it had the commentary from Chris Berman, which was actually somehow almost able to keep up and be semi-realistic to what you actually did in the game.
For the time.
Like it wasn't like it had a lot of various talking points to the point where it didn't feel like the canned talking points that we get in Madden, where they're just saying the same stuff over and over again.
Shout out to Madden. I miss him in his little singing stuff.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Madden the person. I'm talking about Madden the game.
That's all I'm.
Okay. No, you wasn't though. But yeah, for real, like I like his pick as an honorable mention, but that's a pipe dream. Never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
So
that's why I ain't put it on my list.
Unless the NFL gets smart and they figure out a way to pull their licensing from Madden. And that way they open it back up. If you open it up to more developers, that's more money. And then Madden will actually have to stop being lazy and actually make a complete game the first time they make it, because they actually have competition.
Go figure. Make a complete game?
All right. So that's our list. I'm Mark K.
I'm Mark C.
Peace.